The Wild West had always been a place of transition, where the winds of change blow fiercely, and the dust covers the tracks of those who dare to cross its barren land. It was a time of battles, conquests, and silent revolutions. But amidst all the disputes and betrayals, a simple wagon was about to forever alter the fate of that vast territory. Nothing seemed special at first glance, but inside that wagon, pulled by an old and weary horse, was something that could shift the balance of power across the region. The wagon continues its journey down the dirt road. Its slow and weary movement, but determined. The few townsfolk along the way watch with suspicion, wondering what could be carried in such an insignificant vehicle. The atmosphere is thick with silent mystery, and while the wagon seems to carry only ordinary cargo, it is a reflection of an impending change. Something inside it holds the key to a revolution that is about to unfold, and no one, not even the most observant, imagines its true significance. As the wagon approaches the town of Tombstone, it becomes more than just an ordinary vehicle. It becomes the focal point for a divided town. On one side, the townspeople who still believe in the Old West, where law and order are more a matter of strength than morality. On the other, those who see the wagon as a symbol of something new, something that could change the control of the town and even the land. The tension is palpable, and what once seemed like just a simple delivery now carries much greater weight. It's not just the eyes of the town on the wagon. The fate of everyone is about to become intertwined with it, in a way no one could have predicted. In the dead of night, the bandit group led by the pastor takes position, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The shadows of distant mountains and the sound of wind, creating small dust waves on the road, set the scene for the event that will change the West. The wagon, carrying a secret that could alter everyone's fate, moves down the deserted road. The bandits are not only after goods, but something far more valuable, a key to power. The attack happens violently and quickly, with the bandits leaping from the shadows and ambushing the wagon in a brutal assault. The sound of weapons and shouts echoes through the desert. But unlike what was expected, the bandits don't just find goods. Inside the wagon, hidden beneath the cloth covering it, is something more, something so powerful that it could change the power structure of the region. The pastor, upon discovering the secret the wagon holds, begins to feel the weight of his discovery. What started as a simple act of greed transforms into a life or death mission, a dilemma that will make him question his own beliefs. As the battle rages on, the town begins to wake up to the sound of the conflict. The population of Tombstone, once divided, now realizes that something much larger is at stake. What seemed like a simple robbery now turns into a fight for a greater power than anyone had imagined. Tensions explode, and the true nature of the town and its inhabitants comes to light. The pastor, now aware of the power he controls, sees an opportunity to overthrow the status quo and create a new regime, but that will not be easy. With the discovery of the secret inside the wagon, events unfold quickly. Tombstone, which until then seemed like a town controlled by personal and powerful interests, begins to divide even further. The pastor, now holding an unexpected power, begins recruiting followers, preaching the need for a revolution to overthrow the old structures and establish a new order. His word spreads like wildfire, drawing those who were already tired of the oppression of the old regime, and those who see the revolution as an opportunity to pursue their own goals. Chaos takes over the town. Gunshots ring through the streets, and former allies become enemies. The conflict between the two groups, the supporters of the new regime and those defending the old order, reaches its peak. Tombstone, which once was a place of subtle confrontation, now becomes the epicenter of an open war. Factions form, each trying to seize control of power, and the struggle for the wagon becomes a metaphor for the fight for control over an uncertain future. As the confrontations intensify, the pastor becomes not just a bandit, but a messianic figure to his followers. He begins to see the revolution not only as a way to seize power, but as a divine mission. But as his power grows, so does his responsibility. The pastor starts to question whether he is truly the right man to lead, whether his vision of a new West will be a utopia or a dystopia. His internal doubts begin to interfere with the revolutionary movement, creating even greater tension between him and his followers, leaving everyone around him with the question, how far will he go to achieve his goals? The final battle approaches. The town of Tombstone, now unrecognizable, is overrun by battalions of men and women fighting for a new beginning or the preservation of the old order. The pastor, in a last-ditch effort to solidify his revolution, plans a decisive blow to secure his place as the leader of the new West. However, his own followers begin to question his decisions, and the pastor's leadership is challenged by the loyalty and desire for power of his allies. The line between hero and villain begins to blur, and the town becomes a battleground for morality, where the values of freedom, power, and justice intertwine in complex ways. As the dust settles and the last shots are fired, a new era begins to dawn in the West. Tombstone, though destroyed by war, begins to rebuild under new leadership. The pastor, now transformed by his own actions, realizes that the true revolution was not just about seizing power, but about the internal transformation he himself underwent. He looks to the horizon, knowing that while the town has changed, the fight for the future of the West is far from over.